Hi, my YouTube people. Welcome to my newest psychic reading, psychic tarot reading. Today, we'll be doing a reading on the future of the healthcare system or the medical industry, the healthcare industry, whatever you would like to call it. In part one, we will be, channeling and pulling cards. In part two, we'll do the same thing, but we will just further extrapolate and maybe be a little bit more forthright, honest in part two, as we usually are, right? So if you want to see part two, become a member by hitting the join button on my YouTube channel. Once you hit the join button, you can pick a tier and you will have access to part two of this video as well as part two of countless of other videos I've already done. So thank you for listening and watching. I am Lamarr Townsend. If you're new, I'm a psychic, an energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer. If you would like a personal reading from me, I am available and would love to read for you. Check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, right here. Once you've reached this page, you know you're on the right page. Designed and created by me. Follow me on my other social media pages, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon. Become a member on my Patreon. Check out my podcast on Spotify, Google, Anchor, and more. Scroll down and read the reviews from people who have purchased readings from me. And also check out my Instagram and Facebook. You can go right to the store section of my website, and this is where you can go to view all the rates, services, and products that I do offer. I offer quite a lot. I do birth chart readings, compatibility birth chart readings, individual birth chart readings. I do mediumship readings if you want to connect to your ancestor spirit guides, those who have passed on. I do past life readings if you want to learn about your past lives. I do one-on-one psychic tarot readings, phone psychic tarot readings. I do video recorded psychic tarot readings sent to your email. I do email psychic tarot readings. I do spiritual development classes, astrology classes, tarot classes, dream interpretation readings. I do candles and so much more. So if you'd be interested in any of these things, alright, anything spiritual, definitely check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I'm always adding things to it, so definitely check it out. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you all for listening and watching, and let's go ahead and cleanse the cards. Thank you to those in the medical industry. I guess we could say, risking your lives, much like we would say about firefighters and police, officers. Thank you for cleansing and clearing the energy of this deck when you pass reading. In the name of the Mother, the Daughter, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Amen, amen, amen. And, people in the army and all these types of things. Let's also remember, take a sip of my smoothie. Let's also remember the medical community, right? Alright. This is where you can go if you would like to reach me for a reading. All information is there, and I will leave this there for those that may want a reading. Alright, this is where you can email me, text me for a reading. I'm available for phone readings, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and get into it. What is the future of the healthcare industry? What messages does Spirit have to say about the future of the healthcare industry? First card I get is the Chariots, which is very interesting. The Chariot speaks of new advancements. New advancements, particularly maybe, I'm trying to, hold on, get it a bit more focused. There we go. I guess it's lighting more so than anything. Alright, there we go. There could be advancements actually in the plastic surgery industry. This would deal with advancements pertaining to physical appearance. Alright, this would deal with advancements pertaining to how one sees themselves. Also could be specifically advancements in um, reassignment surgery, transgender surgeries, things of this nature. We also could see maybe a rise in plastic surgery, particularly I feel like in LA, California. I feel like there's something about that. Whether people go there to get the surgery or people there getting surgeries, I mean, it's not surprising, right? But this would actually be plastic surgery. Very interesting. All right. Eight of Wands. I wish I could say that for all all over the world, healthcare moving forward will be more affordable. It feels like, but I don't know if I can really say that with this card, the Eight of Wands. It does feel like there's attempts at meeting people halfway in terms of maybe being able to afford healthcare or certain healthcare. Could involve a lot of paperwork, filling out paperwork, sending this and that, faxing this and that, emailing this and that. Could also involve getting approved, being put on a list. I feel like there's something about open call, open serve, open call, open serve, but you have to put on a list be put on a list. It kind of reminds me of affordable housing, or something like that, where you sign up for affordable housing, but typically I think with affordable housing you don't get it right away. You have to be put on a list, right? That's kind of what I get with advancements in the affordability of healthcare in certain places or all over the world. All right, I feel like particularly maybe in America, I'm also hearing something about Mexico specifically, Australia as well. So I'm not sure about the healthcare system in Australia. I hear Aussie, AUSSIE, I think. Temperance card shows up. I think there's something about children specifically where certain things definitely could be afforded to children. I do feel like maybe vaccines. It's almost like if we get them young, by the time they're older, it may not be a big issue or big deal. If we can get it while they're young or nip it in the bud while they're young, prevent it from spreading while they're young, maybe we can prevent it from becoming a big issue down the line. Like I feel like there's something like that, like studying the youth and how to prevent certain maybe diseases or the spread of certain diseases or the spread of certain, things by almost like targeting the youth. And I don't mean that like necessarily in a bad way, but like that's what I get. All right. Okay. Hit a devil card. The devil card showing up in the placement of home, family, emotions, motherhood, pregnancy. It almost feels like to me pregnancy via the medical industry or the healthcare industry could become toxic, or the investment of motherhood, the investment of pregnancy, family. There's a little bit of toxicity. It's almost like really finding the right doctor or the right pharmacy. All right. Maybe shopping around for the right family doctor. I think we're going back to the days of where doctors treat families and not just one generation of family, maybe generations of family. This has been our doctor for generations. This doctor, nursed and you know uh, took care of your mom's health or your great grandma's health, or it could be that kind of thing. I think, and I mean this in the kindest way, I think we may be going into the energy of not everyone can be trusted, and maybe not everyone can be trusted to do their job always, or to the best of their abilities, or to the best of one's self-interest. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm trying to be PC in part one as usual, right? For YouTube purposes, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, right? Wink, wink. Definitely something about children showing up. And it's almost, I keep getting the energy of getting them while you're young, but it's almost like too young. There could be an issue of too young. You know, right? There's a need to be careful maybe of what the children ingest or what the children are given while they're young, because there could also have long-term effects in some way, long-term ramifications. So there's a need to also account, in this new future of the healthcare industry, there's a need to account for the future development of the child, right? There's something about that, I feel like, where there's going to be a studies on this or a focus on this in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be an abundance of jobs, that's for sure. Abundance of jobs, I feel like, with relatively good pay. Or if not good pay starting right out, that you definitely can work your way up to good pay. I feel like there's something with the medical industry where it's shifting and changing. It's becoming more specialized in some way. It also feels like if you know a lot of things, or if you can do this job and this and that job too, you have extra, like, a leg up. So once again, shout out to those in the medical industry, risking their lives as well and their mental health. Okay? I hear pensions too. So I think, working within the healthcare and medical industry, uh, number one, I feel like will always, for the most part, be lucrative, but specifically specialized, I feel like, is going to be very lucrative moving forward. Teaming up for the better. I feel like there's people collaborating in some way. I get a lot of, like, plastic surgery too. I see people teaming up in the plastic surgery industry for better ethical rules, or better ethics. Like, there's something about that. Could also just be the industry in general. Like, there's a teaming up, speaking out for better ethics. Death card shows up in terms of one-on-one relationships and business partnerships. Interesting. I'm wondering if people are losing faith in the healthcare industry or the medical industry. Maybe with how things have been, the things they've seen, the things they've experienced, the things that they've gone through dealing with the medical industry themselves, or seen people they know go through. Maybe dealing with the COVID and how that was handled by the entire healthcare medical industry. They did the best they could, but at the same time, there were some questionable things, right? By everyone involved. Allegedly. Seven of Wands. I think there's going to be a lot of pointed fingers towards the healthcare medical industry. Do better. Be better. You could have done this. You could have done that. It kind of feels like to me how a couple years ago, when around the time when George Floyd died and Breonna Taylor, there was a really big focus on, and even I want to go back to what's his name? What's her name? I almost said Greta Garbo. That is not her name. What is that girl's name? Gabrielle or Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, and there was a big focus on the police. And do better, be better, do your job better. You could have done this, you could have done that. I feel like this is the medical industry. There's going to be like attention put towards the healthcare medical industry like this as well, just like that. Could there be some casualties that happen as a result? It's a possibility. We hope it doesn't happen. We knock on wood that it doesn't happen, right? But we don't know what Spirit has in store. Get the Tower card, medical industry, particularly dealing with overseas. I feel like there's different practices, procedures, ethics overseas than there are um, in one's home state. So yes, it may be cheaper to go, get your surgery, whatever your surgery is, overseas or out of state or whatever it is, but what about the ethics? What about the knowledge? What about the history, of where these doctors and these professionals and the history of this medical firm, like what have you done that research too? Like that's important. A lot more research needs to be done in the medical industry. There's some outdated things I feel like as well within the healthcare industry moving forward that are going to seem more and more outdated. Like, why are they still doing this in 2025 or 2028? Like, shouldn't they be more up to date? Like, we're going to start to say that, I feel like, about the medical industry, the healthcare industry. I think people are fed up. I think there could be some alternatives that come out via the internet, social media technology. Legal alternatives, although that could maybe be debated. But I think it leaves people with almost no recourse. It's like I'm fed up with dealing with these, medical professionals, and I can't tell you how many readings I've had personally with people who are dealing with health issues and trying to work with the medical industry to help them, but there's really nothing being done. A lot of these stories, people are getting fed up, and I think people are going to start taking matters into their own hands. But how many losses will there be before there's a change or a shift? All right. I think things have to change in the medical industry. I think things need to be revamped. I think even the way, down to studies in school and education and university, I think needs to be looked at and revamped and reworked and adjusted to this new world that we're in, with this, continuously booming and advancing technology. It's just no longer working medical industry, nor is it any no longer fair to operate in a old fashioned way almost, right? These aren't seeing some good cards, but honestly, some of these are not the best cards. The Tower, the Death card. Those are some tough cards. All right. All right. So this is part one of this reading. I'm gonna go ahead and get into part two. Remember, if you want a personal reading from me, I'm available on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. If you would like a personal reading, I'm available on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. You can also text me at 703-791-9162 for a reading as well. Love and light, God bless, and I'll see you in the next reading. I'll see you in your own personal reading. Either way, I'll see you soon. Love and light.